our Reading One Piece podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to following the entire story of One Piece from beginning to end as we focus on each volume. We keep the discussion spoiler free for new fans of the series, so this is the perfect place to follow along, whether you're new to the series or just want to revisit the world of One Piece with us. This week, we will be covering the second part of Volume 78, Champion of Evil, which covers chapters 781 through 785. My name is Joel. I'll be your host. And joining me today, we have Evan
Hello there.
and we have Cody.
It can't be. Say it ain't so. Say he's gonna make it, Doc. Please don't leave me hanging like this.
Who could he be talking about?
Oh, my guy. Anything but my guy.
Yeah, well, I'm sure everything's going to work out, but we'll have to see how that goes. Yeah, so I actually hadn't talked to you guys since Courtney and I had gone to Little Tokyo to
Right.
the One Piece Cafe. So we got there at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they opened at 11. So we figured, oh, okay, we'll get there maybe like an hour early, and hopefully it'll be fine. The first 100 people got tickets for a free keychain. So we started going over there, and it's like, okay, the line doesn't look that bad. But then we realized because of the street, the line then started curving around the building and went down the other street. So when they started handing out the tickets, we ended up being within the first 200 people. I think we're like probably 157 or something. So I'm like, okay, this is a good
Wow.
sign. Then the guy goes around and he's like, all right, Chopper's only gonna be here for about like an hour and a half. So you guys have to go in and go quick. Maybe like 30 seconds to a minute. You guys got to keep the line moving. So we waited in line until maybe about 12:45, and like we're getting pretty close to the door at that point. And the guy was coming by, like he started giving us like waters and stuff. And I was like, "Hey, how much longer is Chopper gonna be here?" He's like, "Oh, Chopper already left." Like, like you didn't think to tell us? And then like we are disappointed because that was like the main reason why we're going. We wanted to get the food and stuff too, but it was like too crazy. It was like we're probably not gonna get food at this point because it's way too crazy.
Wow.
So the people around us were like upset, and it's like oh no. It's like, well, can we at least just get our keychain? Because like what they did was they split the line, and people who were getting food after seeing Chopper went off to the other side, and they stopped our line altogether. So our line wasn't moving for like probably an hour, and the other line for the food was going pretty slow, and it kept filling up with more people who were doing, I think, like online orders. So they were like serving those people first. So it became like this whole crazy thing. So we ended up getting the keychain, and we ended up leaving, just getting sushi somewhere else. And we figured we'll come back another time. So they actually gave us a coupon for like 15% off. So that's cool. So we didn't actually get to try the food there because they had the new item we wanted to try, but unfortunately we didn't get to actually get the experience. We kind of just waited around for nothing.
And that sounds wild.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate. Yeah, we're looking forward to meeting Chopper, and Courtney really wanted to see Chopper, but hopefully next
Courtney's
time.
favorite.
Yeah.
No.
Bummer.
But yeah, I just figured I'd fill you guys in on what happened with that.
Well, it sounds like there's demand, so I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll have it happen again.
Yeah, but next time we'll have to get a trip together when we can all go and see if we try some food.
That would be cool
I'm in.
if that could work out.
All right, so before we get into the last half of the volume, there's a little recap for where things were left off. With the Smile Factory destroyed and Diamante, Pika, and Bellamy defeated, that just leaves Treble and Doflamingo himself left to defeat. Doflamingo mocked Law before making one final attempt to convince him to use his powers to grant him immortality, but Law was not interested in striking a deal. Doflamingo seemingly killed Law, leaving Luffy to take on Treble and Doflamingo alone. All right, pretty tense.
It's pretty dense.
Okay, but we're going to start with the next part of the cover story. The Solitary Journey of Jinbei First Son of the Sea, Volume 25. New fishing boats make up for the busted ones. The sea beasts offer to ferry the people around to make up for destroying their boats.
These ones are even better.
Well, that's sweet.
Yeah, pretty cool of them. Nice little solutions. Like everybody's kind of getting along now, and it's like they got this new system.
Yeah, everyone's
And you
working
can-
together.
Yeah, and I can't tell, is the sea lion singing or is it the people singing on the boat? Because there's like a little music note above the lion's head.
It looks closer to the sea lion than the people, so I'd assume the
I
sea
think
lion.
so. Yeah. So is he kind of happy? Like,
Hard to tell.
yeah.
Yeah, I won't knock it.
Sea Kitten is happy.
Yep.
Do what you love. You'll never work a day in your life.
Or is this like a temporary thing? It's like, hey, we'll do this for like a week until you guys can get boats. Or is it like, hey, this is just gonna be how things are from now on? But like, are they like overcommitting here? I guess time will tell.
Guess we'll find out in volume 26.
All right, so let's find out what happens in the main chapter with chapter 781, Desire. The citizens of Dressrosa begin to panic as the birdcage begins shrinking. Doflamingo estimates it'll fully close within an hour. Angry, Luffy begins to use a Gum Gum Red Hawk as Law surprises Doflamingo with Chambers. Law switches places with Luffy, landing a Gamma Knife on Doflamingo that will continue to damage him internally. Trouble can't comprehend how Law is still alive, so Law explains he had surrounded them with a massive room that swapped out his body for a double when he was shot. Luffy then lands a Gum Gum Jet Stamp on the weakened Doflamingo. Luffy keeps Trouble at bay while Law attempts to finish Doflamingo. To Law's shock, Doflamingo explains that he started using his strings to repair his internal damage. Exhausted, Law falls to the ground. Doflamingo prepares to stomp on Law's head. Luffy stops Doflamingo's foot in place with his own, and the two stare each other down.
Yo.
Thank fucking God.
Yo.
I was worried.
Yeah, things are looking a little dicey there for a bit.
This is
Dicey
epic.
like that building on the first page.
Yeah, right? The visual of the birdcage slicing through Dressrosa is bonkers.
Is it cake?
Is it cake?
Right. Yeah.
Oh my god. It is now. It might as well be.
It's like they start to fall apart like dominoes. Like the pieces just like got sliced and they start toppling over.
Unreal.
It is very trippy with like Oda maintaining the slight curvature of the strings with like the actual like vertical design of this building. I had to be like, okay, which one's slicing where? It's a great panel to look at though, so I wasn't mad.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, it's beautifully drawn. And talk about powerful. I mean, come on. Like, Dofi's single-handedly destroying an entire island in the middle of a fight. Like, this is just happening in the background. Like, unreal.
Yeah. And all they can do is look on and run.
Yeah.
I hate it for them, but I am glad that we do get like the shots of like the actual people of Dressrosa in the middle of all this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just reminding
Helps
us
kind of
of,
remind
like,
you like some of the
the
stakes
scope
that are
of it.
going on.
Exactly.
Right.
And then Doflamingo has this line here where he says, "Oh, pardon me, I know let you know that the terms of the game have changed." And then Luffy's like, "The game? Are you still going on about that?" So this kind of proves Cavendish right, because Cavendish previously has said like Doflamingo had no intention of letting anybody live. And he said the game was like a ruse. So we see here that that was true. Cavendish called this where he didn't think that Doflamingo had any intention of letting them through. So he's kind of just using the people to do his dirty work, and then he was just gonna take everybody out anyway. So he's just doing it because it's amusing to him. But yeah, he doesn't want anybody to escape here.
Everyone dies with the secret.
Yeah, now we have a clear time limit as to how long we have for this fight to wrap up.
We love our Oda time limits.
Yeah. The countdown has begun.
I think it's like one of like the ones where I was like, oh, this really is a thing with you, isn't it? Huh. It hadn't clicked with me until like reading this one.
Yeah. Also a bit like Alabasta with the bomb. It's like the timer at the bomb.
Mm,
It's like we're rushing to try to stop the bomb before everybody dies. So
Oh, you've also got like Skypiea, you've got like Death Pia, this giant storm cloud.
mhm.
You've got the Buster Call in Ennie's lobby.
Yep.
yep.
You've got like the looming threat of like them of Sengoku finally saying kill him in Marineford. You've got the Noah crashing down in Fishman Island.
Yep.
You've got the Gaston Punk Hazard. Oda loves his countdowns. It wasn't until Dressrosa was like, wait a second, this has been going on for a while now. Hey, you.
How do we crank up the tension here?
But he always finds a good different way to do it, which I think is what keeps it exciting and fresh.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Whereas, like,
Agree.
you can see like the tropes and the things that are things he relies on, but it doesn't feel like rehashed or lazy. It feels like he's just finding new ways to tell the story and keep that pressure up and keep the stakes high.
Yeah, no, it just
Totally.
shows that he knows how to apply the structure that he has found again and
Mhm.
again and
Yeah.
continue working with it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong
But
with that.
staying creative and not keep it doesn't feel like formulaic in any way. It
Right.
feels like creative and exciting.
Like this one game, like it's tied like the fact that it's a game, it is tied to Doflamingo and who he is as a character specific to this arc and to this situation. And that's why it works.
Yeah. Yeah, and then what do you guys think of this fake out with Law?
Oh, yo, I got the chambres gave me shivers. I was like, oh shit. And then
Mhm.
that page flip is so satisfying. And we see Gamma Knife, which is such a sick new move for us. Like incredible reveal.
Yeah.
It
I
is
was hyped.
absolutely hacks. The fact that he has the room expanded to a point that Doflamingo can't even tell.
Yep.
OP, stupid. The fact that he switched his body with someone in the nick of time like a stupid
Brilliant.
magician. Brilliant. Hacks.
So good.
Stupid. I love it. Law's just doing spammy bullshit, and I am so here for it. I don't need it can be as convoluted as you want. As long as it's cool, it works.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Oda explains it well enough here to the point where it makes sense. It's not like, "Oh,
Yeah.
come on, really?" It's like everything here clicks, and this also confirms that you can see the room. It's like a visible thing that people are like
Mm,
able to see in the One Piece universe. So the fact they had to make it larger to avoid making it easy to see, that confirms that. It's not just like an effect for the reader. But I think this is also cool because they had done this trick before, but because they did it before, that kind of ruins a surprise. And did Doflamingo say that's not gonna work again on me? He's like nice trick, but you can't pull that off on me. Okay, I might be misremembering or inserting that
yeah. No, I
myself,
think you're right.
I'm trying to
but
remember when they did it before. When was that?
um,
When they first confronted Dofi on the roof, they
Oh,
tried
you
the
mean
same
the
move and
Law Luffy
Luffy
switch,
jumped
you
the
mean?
gun.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Sorry if I wasn't clear about that.
I thought you
Yeah.
meant Law like the death fake out. I'm with you now. I'm with you
Oh,
now.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So the death fake out was a way for them to trick Dofi with the same move again by
Yes.
swapping place in the middle of Luffy's attack. So,
Incredible.
although it was the other way around before? Was it Law attacking and then he switched into Luffy? Was it the other way or
Yeah. Yeah, it was so Law acted like he was pissed off at Luffy. Luffy was act like he was pissed off at Law, went in, and then I think did Law switch himself and Doflamingo? Is that what he did? But it ended up with Luffy hitting with Red Hawk for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember the specifics, but like yeah, they
God, this
did
arc is long.
yeah. They did the switcheroo before.
Yeah. Did they throw an object at him? I don't remember.
Definitely a person who got switched. That I remember.
But yeah, very smart tactics here. And then is this like an actual person that Law had for the body double? So they just like sacrifice this dude to be like, you're gonna take these bullets for me?
Or maybe he
Or is
was
it
already
like
dead.
a doll? Or yeah, or he could have been dead already, but makes it more convincing, I guess, right?
I'll choose. Yeah, I like the option of him being dead already.
He
Wouldn't put it
apologized
past
for the
Law,
body double.
but yeah.
Although, like the whole like little whisper thing, that's the only part that seems like a little shoehorned in, where he goes like, "Oh wait, Straw Hat, I'm alive. Listen closely." Like,
Mhm.
but it's fine. It's how Luffy was like aware of what was going on.
Unless in the room, he took control of the electrical signals going through Luffy's brain, so he could hear, and hear what he was saying, because he's a doctor.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Easy.
whispering and doing that, they're probably equally plausible.
Mhm. But oh, Gamma Knife's so sick.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because it seems like the Gamma Knife is like the nail in the coffin for Doflamingo. But when it seems like they have the upper hand, Doflamingo has a workaround for that. So it's also kind of like when Eneru was able to like revive himself.
Yeah.
You can't be like this powerful and like be defeated by these techniques. You have to have some way to kind of cheat death. So
Yeah, Dofi's feeling pretty unkillable at the moment.
yeah,
I like the moment here where Luffy kind of steps aside to let Law take this like final stand. I feel like Luffy typically and has been saying all arc like I'm going to be the one to defeat Dofi.
yep,
But I think he's seen Law's determination and now has some context for that desire, and I feel like he kind of gives him his shot here, which I
yeah,
think is like saying a lot coming from Luffy.
right.
Like I feel like it's a strong show of respect for Law.
Yeah, because he's realizing that Law does have a personal stake in this, and he's letting him like have his moment, and he's
Yeah.
respecting that.
And it's like personal to Luffy too, but I think he sees it as like this is Law's moment.
Yeah.
He respects it and he allows it to happen.
He's still seeing the alliance as being in place. So
Yes, very, very much so.
yeah. So then Doflamingo's back on his feet, and Law is now kind of at the point of exhaustion. This is such a great moment where Luffy stops Doflamingo from stomping on Law,
Oh,
and just like the panel, like showing them like how much bigger Doflamingo is, and Luffy just staring him down, staring up at him. But yeah, just blocking the foot with his own foot. I think that's like that's an iconic panel, and that one like really stands out to me.
Yeah. Because it's subtle in a way, right? Like he's not kicking his foot away, he's not attacking him. It's like a subtle slap of the wrist almost. It's like, yeah, a pretty powerful moment.
Yeah,
he's
for me, it's
just
kind of
resisting.
like I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He's just resisting. He's just saying no. You
Right.
won't.
Yeah, it's like a statement. I'm equal to you. Like you're not above me. I'm at the same level that you are. So that's the way I'm kind of seeing it. And Luffy's not like bowing down or like being afraid of Doflamingo. He's like, I'm going to stand up to you. Like this isn't right.
Right.
I also just really enjoy the composition on that page.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Also, you got to feel for Law too, where he's got this moment where he's kind of like he feels like he's failed, and he has to now be saved by Luffy, and Doflamingo is still standing. Like after everything they just went through and like the brilliant moves that they just made, it still wasn't enough to take down Doflamingo. So it's kind of like Law's gone through all that, and he's still at the point where like it wasn't enough.
And not just that it wasn't enough to fulfill his own vendetta, or that he wasn't enough to fulfill Korra's vendetta, but I feel like in a way also that now he is indebted to another person as well, because now he is
Yep.
getting Luffy into it as well.
Yep.
Like it's still that
Mhm.
the interest avalanche is just piling up for him right now.
Yeah.
His transactional mindset.
Yeah, I think all that comes through just from this one panel. So yeah, I think it says a lot. Okay. Are we good to move on?
I'm good.
Yeah.
All right. Move on to the next part of the cover story. The Solitary Journey of Jinbei First on the Sea, Volume 26. Time for a party. With everything cleared up, the people, the sea beasts, and Watsume throw a party to celebrate.
All has been forgiven.
Yeah, that's very cute. And does Watsume have just like a big cup, or was that something that they got repurposed into a cup?
Could just be a whole barrel.
Did you like grab a
Well, that'd make it
building and be
bigger
like,
than a
I'm going to
barrel.
use that?
It's huge.
Perspective would work here. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, very nice.
Very nice.
Less nice is the next chapter. Chapter 782, Champion of Evil. Doflamingo attempts to stop on Law again, but Doflamingo and Luffy clash with their Haki of the Supreme King. Treble had spotted this quality in Doflamingo, even as a young boy, which he saw as an opportunity to raise him up as a king and their champion of evil. Luffy and Doflamingo briefly trade armament Haki-infused blows till Luffy gets launched into Treble's gooey body. Luffy is confused as to why his Haki isn't effective on Treble, who he mistakes for a Logia-type user. Treble covers Law in goo and attempts to light him on fire, but Law controls his severed arm to surprise strike Treble and cuts through his real body. Treble decides to sacrifice himself and lights the goo on fire anyway. All right, thoughts on this one?
This initial clash, a collision of Supreme King Haki.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. This is amazing. And it's not technically new to us, but and it does say it's like, the king hockey being in the title, but it's been directly now said that you have the quality of a king. Like the hockey directly associates to, like, it's like an aura almost. It's like you have the potential to be a king, to be heard by all, essentially. And like
Yeah.
again, we've played with this topic before, but it was cool reading it so directly said this time. Like you have the quality of a king, you were chosen by the heavens. And then we see the clash of like the Supreme King hockey, and it looks like a rupture in time. Like the way it's drawn, I love like the kinetic and like energy that comes from these panels. Like it literally feels like they're breaking time and space when they collide. Like it's such a cool way of illustrating that.
Yeah.
It's like very dynamic and it feels colossal.
Yeah, we see like this effect of almost like black lightning bolts radiating from the center of the area, and that's kind of like the indicator of the hockey of the Supreme King that Oda is using. But we've seen uses of hockey of the Supreme King, but we haven't really seen two different people trying to compete using it against each other. So it's kind of like almost like canceling each other out in a way, or it's like trying to see
Mhm.
who's is stronger. So it's kind of like adding another layer to this battle that we haven't really seen be done before.
Wild.
The fact that one of these like I don't know hockey lightning bolt whatever's is hitting like down all the way down like the flower hill. It was lost on me for a second, but I think of like just how much time they spent climbing this fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like it took me a second to realize just how just what the scale of this is as
Yeah.
demonstrated here, and it's crazy.
Yeah, and it was this quality that Treble had seen in Doflamingo as a kid that drew him in, and he's like, "Oh, I can use this kid to achieve great things," and he can kind of like ride on his greatness. So he's kind of like he's trying to nurture that quality of Doflamingo and like stroke his ego and make him think highly of himself and continue like those qualities that he was already seeing and like amplify them in Doflamingo.
Mhm.
So he wasn't the kind of person that Doflamingo needed as a kid. But it is like who he ended up with, and Treble took advantage of him in a way.
Yeah, it's interesting. And Trouble kind of touches upon the subject of like Dofi, through his upbringing and this trauma and his privilege, he's like turned into this monster. And Treble kind of throws out like he says, his birth infused him with madness and his fate brought him rage. These things solidified him as a demon, which feels kind of like a nature versus nurture sort of ideology. And he was saying like it was the perfect storm to make the champion of evil, if you will.
Yeah, yeah, and this also explains how Doflamingo ended up with his devil fruit. It was gifted to him by
Mhm.
Treble. Also, I just noticed next to the devil fruit is the pistol that he's been using like throughout the entire arc. It's like, why is he using this pistol? But it seems like it might be a personal thing because it was something that Treble gave to him as a way to enact that vengeance. So it could be the symbolic nature of that, and that's why specifically he's using the handgun. Which, yeah, I didn't really think of it that way before, but now looking at this panel again, that just occurred to me
Yeah, that's
why
huge.
why he
I
favors
hadn't
it.
thought about that. I hadn't considered that either.
Yeah, and I just think the next series of panels and pages are really cool. But there's not a lot of dialogue that's going on here, but just the artwork of the fight going back and forth and showing like the power level of these two,
Yeah.
just really cool. And now seeing Luffy he's like going much more toe to toe with Doflamingo than he was before, where it felt so one sided. Now it feels like Luffy is stepping up a little bit, and he's showing he's more of a fight than Doflamingo had originally expected from him.
I'm just realizing Dofi had Supreme King hockey before he ate the devil fruit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
Wild.
Yeah, so it wasn't his power that really was the quality that he had. It was his personality and the way he thought of himself and what he thought was owed to him. I think it's almost like a way of like self-fulfilling prophecy where he's kind of like, I'm so great and like I can back that up. And like the Hockey Supreme King is something that he could do. So it's kind of like he recognized that quality in himself and then he was able to do that. So I think that might be part of like the innate part of him is just like how he feels about himself. Like even as a young kid, like he felt like he had these qualities, and that I think that allowed him to awaken the Haki Supreme King at a young age. And then things take a little bit of a turn when Luffy gets knocked into Treble's goopy body. So pretty gross.
Pretty gross.
I do like the fact that Treble talks a bit about the officers and their relationship with Dofi pretty soon after he traps Luffy. Saying they raised him and shaped him into the champion of evil that he is today. How there's no, well, maybe that. Basically, talking about how Dofi's the absolute ruler and just the structure there. But it just brings me back to like, how does Dofi feel about his family, right? What does he view as family? Does he actually care about them, or are they just tools for him to use? And I think Law also like posits in like the previous chapter, oh, you gathered people you can use. But no, he was taught that the definition of family after his family had failed him was family is a group of people you can use because you have this will. And in Dofi's case, this selfishness, which I'm now starting to think a bit more about, like, how is that correlated to will in this story? Because again, Luffy is a very selfish person too. No, all these people with Conquer Sakami, they have like some kind of selfishness, even if the thing that they want is altruistic, it's because they want it. That may be a bit, I may be going a bit off the plot here. But for Dofi though, like it just makes sense. It is that both sides of the same coin are in there for his definition of family.
Yeah. But the difference with like Luffy is that his selfishness is not at the expense of others for the most part.
Yes.
And like he wants to support his friends. Whereas Doflamingo, it's more like you guys are here to support me at the expense of anybody else to get my goals. So like Doflamingo's not sacrificing any of his stuff for other people.
Right. Which is so interesting because that's like going back to the Supreme King Haki. It's like they're both successful leaders in their own right. Like Luffy is a successful leader in achieving his goals and helping achieve his friends' goals. And Dofi has been a successful leader at achieving power and control. And it's evil, but he's also very good at it. And like he is undeniably a powerful leader. It's interesting that they're kind of using this same aura, the same like quality of a king, but using it to different ends.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing it clash.
Oh, right. Sorry. The quote I was looking for was Treble saying that we raised Dofi into a king and impressed his dignity upon the henchmen, but the five of us have cared for and upheld the family honor just like a real family would. That's the one.
Yeah.
In fact, they ingrained that into the family. They built that definition of family based on it.
Yeah, and he said here that there's no hierarchy with these supreme officers, so they're kind of like for them, like I think the most important parts of the family. So we have like Diamante, we also have Virgo here, Pika and Treble. They were kind of like the founding members here. The way that they see it is like the officers are part of that family, and as long as like their dreams are being fulfilled, that's like the important thing for them. But then like the henchmen are kind of there to serve the people above them. But ultimately, it's like Doflamingo is like the main head honcho that they're all following. But again, like in a way that it's like Doflamingo can help them achieve their dreams, and they're going to do anything they can to support him. So it's kind of like a way of like you scratch my back, I scratch your back kind of thing. So yeah, it's interesting to see this version of a family, and I think they legitimately do feel a connection for each other, and that they're looking out for each other. So it's a matter of having a support system, but as to how they like actually care about each other, it's like again, it's like that's where it gets a little iffy because like, is it just because they're useful for each other, or is it because they actually care about each other?
I don't think they care about each other. I think they care about themselves.
I think it could be a little bit of both.
But they're more powerful together, and their union is means to an end to get them where they want to go. I mean, that's what Law says right here. He says you're just Doflamingo's puppets. Like you're not a family.
Yeah.
You're disposable.
Yeah, because I mean, we did see before, like Corazon was his family and Law was his family, But then when things ensue him, then they ended up going on his bad side. So now they're against the family.
So conditional love, not unconditional love.
I feel like they see each other as investments and they care about their investments.
Right.
But is it also because these people are on the same page? Whereas like Law and Corazon weren't really on the same page. But everybody else on the officers are on the same page. And they legitimately are trying to achieve the same things. So is that where the difference is? Because there's that loyalty. So Doflamingo's respecting the loyalty, and like that's what he's looking for. And as long as people are giving him the loyalty, then he wants to keep them around. So he wants a bunch of like yes men. He's with people
Yeah.
that are just enabling him, and not enough people who are saying no. Like he's not looking for different opinions. He's looking for people to just encourage him to do what he wants to do.
I mean, that lines up perfectly. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
The whole thing is them enabling him.
Yep.
Well, shit.
Then we get this great move from Law where his arm comes floating with the sword, and he slices right through
Incredible.
Treble.
Let's fucking go. Let's go.
This is so good. This is so fun and creative. This is a great moment.
It's also just like it's just morbid enough, which is the thing I liked so much about Law at the very start. There was just like this kind of creepiness to him. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my own fucking arm that's been ripped off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gross. Perfect. Amazing.
And
Yeah.
with the death tattoos on his fingers, which is also just a nice little touch.
So good.
So sick.
And just like Law's taking everything, he hasn't forgotten about anything. He's still taking everything into consideration. Very calculated. This was great.
Yeah, then in desperate move, Treble sees things turning, so he's like, I'm just going to light myself on fire and take you with me.
So gross. Everything about him's gross.
Gross.
Yeah.
Not to
Yeah.
body shame, just him as a person. The slime. Ugh.
Snot. Right?
So he wasn't like wearing real clothes, like he was just relying on his Delport to make clothes. That's pretty gross. Like he's got
Pretty
like
gross.
underwear underneath, but that's about it.
Encased in snot.
That's a fashion statement.
Mhm.
Okay, good to move on.
Well, something's up with the Tontadas here. Like there seems to be like a communal emotion that passes here, or a feeling. They all are turning toward town. They don't know why. They feel like a weight has been lifted.
Yeah, maybe it's hope.
What could that be? Maybe it's hope.
Well, hopefully, the feeling isn't misplaced. Okay, and then just real quick in the SBS, there is just the confirmation of Drake being the boy that we talked about
Hmm.
before from the Rosante Law flashback.
Right.
Yeah, so just mentioning that here. Okay, moving on to the cover story. The Solitary Journey of Jinbei First on the Sea, Volume 27. I want to go with you. Watsumi asks to tag along with Jinbei on his journey.
Where's that finger going, buddy?
I
What do you guys think? Is Jinbei going to take him with him? Or is he going to be like, no way, dude?
Keep him out of trouble.
yeah. Jinbei
Keep an
will
eye on him.
I'll rock with him.
Make sure he doesn't end up with the wrong crowd again. All right. Let's get to the chapter. Chapter 783, In My Way. The onlookers below the palace see the giant flame as they see Luffy carrying Law away from the explosion. Luffy leaves Law with Robin to watch over him before rejoining his fight with Doflamingo. Doflamingo does not want to let Law escape, but Cavendish and Bartolomeo jump in to help, while Leo offers to help sew up Law's wounds to where Mancherry can use her powers to heal him. Doflamingo reflects on Luffy's career, which led him to this moment. Law requests to watch the fight, and if Luffy loses, then he's willing to be killed along with him. Luffy's attacks are ineffective as Doflamingo tells Luffy time is running out. Soon people start dying from the birdcage, so he should just stay out of his way. Luffy barks back that Doflamingo's in his way, as he says, Gear 4.
What? What now?
Mhm.
Count 4? That's a new one.
Yeah.
He can count.
So we don't see Gear 4 in this chapter, but we do get the hype. It's
We
coming.
got the hype.
Yeah. So luckily the explosion doesn't take down Luffy and Law. So hopefully take down Trouble. But Luffy and Law get away. And this gives Luffy a chance to leave Law to recover. Because Law's in bad shape right now. So thankfully he can get removed from the immediate threat of Doflamingo, and he gets the help from their allies here.
Yeah, and between Leo sewing and Mansherry's healing, that's some promising foreshadowing.
Yeah, there you go.
Also, very cute that their powers can work together like that.
I know. I was like, this is so great.
Yeah, hopefully they don't sell the armor on backwards. That'd be bad.
That'd be really funny, actually. Especially if it were to happen to Law. He'd be so pissed. That would be, honestly, that'd be great.
You have to like use his powers to just like flip his arm around.
Yeah. Yep. We had to nerf him somehow.
It's great seeing Luffy's support stepping up here, and Robin and Cavendish and the Tontadas. Again, I think it just goes to show Luffy's level of leadership and like Cavendish's dedication. You know,
Yeah.
like they were sworn enemies at the beginning of this arc.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Cavendish's turn is pretty great. So yeah, his character I think has come a long way, and he's become more likable. I think. I mean, he's been like a fun character, but like he also had like these moments where he's just in it for the like the narcissism. But there's more to him than that. So we see here he steps in to help Law, but then this returns when Luffy says, "Oh, you need to take care of them," and then what he hears is needs me that equals trust, magnetism, popularity. Strat's my fan. I can't let my fan down. So he's still Cavendish, but it's just
It's
fun.
true.
Yeah, it's still fun to see. He's now on Luffy's side as opposed to where it was before.
Yeah, not to go off on a tangent, but I do think like Luffy is really like Goku, where he like makes friends with everyone, regardless of how evil and terrible they are. It's like he even has a nickname, like Mingo. Like he calls the Flamingo Mingo, and has been since pretty much the jump. Like I feel like he like gave him the benefit of the doubt when they first met. I mean, he wants to kill him now, but he's still, is using this like nickname that he gave him in the beginning. It's like almost endearing a little bit.
Yeah. Most people have been saying Dofi for like the nickname, like even like Trouble calls him Dofi sometimes, but Luffy has to call him Mingo, a different nickname.
Right?
Oh, and he's still calling Cavendish Cabbage.
I thought everyone has started calling him Cabbage.
Yeah, that's true.
Didn't Robin also call him Cabbage?
Yeah, she did.
I love it.
Yeah, everybody's got nicknames, like Rooster.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah, I also like the resolve of Law being like, nope, I have to see this through.
Yeah. He's invested in this fight and the outcome of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it seemed that Luffy was, getting like on the same level as Doflamingo with the fights, and now it looks like it's kind of turning back in Doflamingo's favor. And Doflamingo's saying here, like, you're all speed, but there's not enough weight behind your attacks. So he doesn't think Luffy has what it takes to defeat him.
Still's got that smile on his face. We're getting more frowns than we have had in quite some time, but still Dofi.
Yeah, usually the smile is when he's being cruel to somebody.
Yeah.
What's cool to see that Dofi's been keeping tabs on Luffy for some degree since Alabasta.
Yeah.
At least initially, like immediately was the one to be like, there's something else behind this, and then finds the D.
Yeah. He picks up on that.
And we have Law continuing to have a death wish.
Never backing down.
He'll never give up on thinking he doesn't deserve to live. This poor man.
Oh, and then I was like this moment here where Cavendish sees Robin's back, which she hasn't really been letting on that she took a lot of damage during the Diamante fight, but Cavendish gives his coat to her so she can cover her back, which is still bleeding. So I do think this is a nice little moment from Cavendish to kind of help Robin in the situation, so that way her back isn't being exposed.
Very chivalrous.
But he's like
While
very subtle, but
taking
he's not like
care.
drawing attention to like
Yeah.
her injuries. Because I also don't think that she wants like Rebecca or like Kairos to feel guilty that she also was injured.
Right.
While taking care of his proclaimed rival. Cavendish stocks are high right now. Feels good.
Yeah, then we also have Doflamingo and Luffy talking, and Doflamingo is talking about how like everybody's gonna die, there's gonna be victims, and he's like, kind of blaming Luffy. He's like, oh, if you hadn't come here, then Dressrosa would have been at peace. And then Luffy saw the true side of Dressrosa early on with the Coliseum, and he calls him out. He says, "Liar! It was all a sham." So he's basically calling Dofang out for making things look nice on the surface, but really, it was just to cover up like all the stuff that they were doing and all the seedy things going on with like the black market, and then like having the toys be like slaves, and what they were doing at the Coliseum. So yeah, Luffy's like saying like, yeah, like that was all just for show. Like that wasn't true peace.
Word.
Mhm. I do really like the part of their exchange when Dovi asks Luffy if he's playing hero right now. And as we know
Mhm.
from Fishman Island, Luffy does not want to be a hero.
Right.
Yeah. And I guess like this is the selfishness I was referring to with Luffy earlier. Not like the same kind as Dovi, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's, like, just that little bit of like very, very human selfishness.
Mhm.
But Luffy says, "You made my friends cry. You made my friends mad." And so that just makes me want to ponder as we keep going forward. Like in One Piece, I feel like we so often have like found families, people choosing their families, but like for Oda, is that just friendship? Or basically like, or what is that separation between friend and family when you can find your family? That may be a better way to phrase the question here. And I'm wondering, I don't know. It's just something I want to sit with for this, however much longer we have in Dressrosa. Keep going
Yeah.
for this Luffy Dofi fight. I'm sure there's gonna be something cool to find there.
I
Also, in
think
the way that Evan mentioned, Luffy finding friends anywhere he goes.
Yeah. I think for Luffy, part of what makes somebody his friend is like the extent that like he'll go for somebody. So like Luffy will put his life on the line to protect the people he cares about. Again, like the whole reason why he's fighting is like you just said, because like of his friends, not because he wants to save a country. He didn't show up here with the purpose of like, oh, let's save Dressrosa from the tyranny of Doflamingo. He's like, no, I just want to beat him up because he was mean to my friends. So like his like purpose is like Cody said, like a selfish reason. It's because it's what he wants, but he's doing it for he's doing like good things for that reason though. Like what he ends up wanting to do is good for the people involved. It just happens that he's probably gonna like he's like involved with saving a country in this whole process. That wasn't his goal. Same thing with like Alabasta. Like he'd not go to Alabasta to like to save the country. He just wanted to beat up Crocodile and to help his friend Vivi. But he ended up saving the country anyway.
Punches Zong in the face because he made his friend cry.
Because he's got that Supreme King hockey gifted by the gods and the will of D. I feel like I like how you said that. I like the hero analogy that you made, Cody. Like he doesn't admit to wanting to be a hero. He just says, "I want to help my friends." And I feel like he also does admit to wanting to be the king, but we haven't really heard like what he mean, like what that looks like for him, other than wanting to be king of the pirates and kind of like fulfill some sort of destiny or follow some sort of path that he's always wanted to go down. But I think like the saying is like the best king is the one who doesn't like want that position or want that power and want that like title. And I think you kind of see that with the hero thing that you just said. Like he doesn't want to. He's like, oh, don't call me a hero. Like I'm just here
Yeah.
helping out my friends. I'm not here, like you said. I'm not here to save Dressrosa. I'm just here like you made my friends cry, and now you have to pay. Like it is what it is. It's not an altruistic thing. It's I mean, it is an altruistic thing, but it's not what you might define as a hero. And I'm wondering how that's going to tie into like what he defines as being a king and like how that works out. Because I think
Yeah.
it's almost like the same thing with him wanting to be king. It's like his actual intentions are like he wants to just be able to do whatever he can. He wants to be able to do whatever he wants with his friends. Like,
Yeah.
that's why he wants to be king, is because he wants that freedom and that ability to be at peace.
Yeah, I think you just nailed it because his intention is not to rule over and lord people as king of the pirates. He's not trying to be like, oh, I'm more powerful than you, so you have to do what I say. He just wants to have that freedom. Like he doesn't want there to be anybody above him telling him what to do. So that's why he wants to aspire to be the king because he wants freedom. So it's like almost like the opposite of like, what other people would want the crown for is to be like, I want the power to control other people. So he's like, no, I just want people to do what they can, like to be free to like live their lives.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, do you have any other thoughts for this chapter before we move on to the next one?
I mean, Gear 4? Are you kidding me? This is the hype of all hype.
I wanted to ask Evan, just given my usual Evan agenda, did you have any like guesses or thoughts or wonder, or you just like next chapter now I
Dude.
need it?
No, it was like I didn't even have time to like sit down and daydream. I was like turn like tearing the page off. I was turning it so fast. Like, I love the pose that he makes though. It feels very like Attack on Titan, like he's about to turn into a Titan. He just bit his wrist and he's going crazy.
This may have been like, I think 1 or 2 chapters after I caught back up with like One Piece Weekly after like my little
Ooh.
break in between. And like the amount of like insane fucking theories people were making, like, what's Gear 4 gonna be, guys? It's finally happening. Yeah. The biggest one was like vulcanization. He turns into a fucking hockey puck. It was like he's gonna heat the rubber. He's gonna heat the rubber. He's doing the Red Hawk. It's gonna happen. So
oh, this is so sick. I love that the last panel here is just the bubble saying 4. Like it's just the word 4.
Like Oda knows what he's doing. He knows.
Oh yeah. He's like, y'all ready for this?
I think it'd be like 9 years since Gear 2 and 3 at this point. He knew people had been waiting for another one.
Yeah, this is sick. I can't wait.
All right, so let's get into the next chapter, which is appropriately titled Chapter 784, Gear 4. The people of Dressrosa scream as they run for their lives to get away from the closing strings that are cutting through buildings like butter. Theo points out where the center of the birdcage is closing in, so Zoro runs off with Kinemon and Kanjuro with a plan to stop the birdcage. Cavendish sits by while Law recovers after having his arm reattached. Doflamingo is amused by Luffy's announcement of Gear 4 as he begins to inflate his Haki-infused arm. The rest of Luffy's body inflates into a muscular form, which he calls Bounce Man. Luffy's new form is unable to stay still as he continues hopping up and down on his feet, so Doflamingo thinks Luffy must be joking. Luffy reassures him that he is serious and explains that he has developed this form over the past 2 years in order to take on large monsters. He tells Doflamingo to shut up and he won't have a chance to strike back as he launches at him, sending him flying across Dressrosa with a Gum Gum Kong gun. The people in the streets are surprised to see Doflamingo crash into the ground near them. Doflamingo is furious, but Luffy is just getting started. Luffy is able to coil up his legs and shoot bursts of air to fly over to Doflamingo. He then shoots his legs out, sending Doflamingo crashing into a building. Doflamingo is now starting to recognize Luffy's power and attempts to kick him, but realizes that Luffy is able to maintain his rubber body even while infused with armament Haki. Luffy stretches out his arm, which begins to zigzag and follow Doflamingo, punching him right in the face.
This is incredible. Right after we get Dofi talking about how to like being creative with devil fruits, and we've seen Dofi be incredibly creative with his devil fruit and use it to terrifying extremes. We see Luffy's most creative form yet. Like, this is absolutely bananas. I did not expect this. I did not see this coming. This is such a cool reveal. Dude's got cannons for arms. Like, just a complete transformation. I love the look. I love the design of it. Like, you get these like Haki infused limbs, but then there's kind of this like flame pattern coming across the chest, which looks really cool.
Yeah.
He's got these dark set eyes and just like looks like a madman. Big fan of the reveal. I think this is a really cool and fun creative form. And like, speaking of like creativity in devil fruits, it's like so cool. Like Oda himself, like coming up with all these ideas and illustrating all of this stuff and having these guys kind of in the story being like, yeah, like your creativity is the limit. Like, like there's no textbook to these. There's no, these elf fruits don't come with a manual. Like you just gotta figure it out, be creative, and like you're only holding yourself back. And here we see the results of that creativity and the results of that thirst to push that devil fruit to its max.
Yeah. And Cody, what are your thoughts on Gear 4?
I think Gear 4 it's so cool. It's the perfect combination of cool and a little stupid in the best way. Because I feel like this is also like this arc is coming out in like 2015, 2016. And I think at this point it's like very much like shown as like dark and cool and edgy. Like the character, when they power up, it's gonna be like it's gonna have so much aura, right? They weren't saying aura, but like that was it. And it's just, and I feel like this is just, it's such a balance because like One Piece has never been like a story to like fit the mold of the stories around it at a given time. There's always something fun. There's always something light to it. There's always something that's a little ridiculous and funny, even in like its tensest moments. And I think this just so perfectly encapsulates that. Again, like Evan said, looks like a madman. There's like some kind of Sun Wukong about it, like in the Journey to the West. I think that's great. But just like the fact that he's like literally bouncing off the ground the entire time like a ball, like
Yep.
that's ridiculous. But also like clearly like he's literally inflating his muscles and like he is intimidating. I think just design wise, it's amazing. And I think like seeing like I mean, we see like the pan where I think he's like bouncing down the street or something. Like audibly laughed at that.
People like, was that a
but,
ball
like-
going down the street? Like,
Yeah. But I think I remember like when the live action first came out and my dad found it on Netflix and he was like one of the last people I ever expected to like watch One Piece. I tried when I was like 4th, 5th grade, but like
oh yeah,
at a certain point I was like, this is just an uphill battle. It's never going to happen. But he watched the first episode of the live action. It's like, Code. Some people just have the imagination of the guy who made this. And I'm like, yeah, Dad, it's One Piece. Like, yeah, lots of imagination. But like Gear 4, I'm like, no. It really is. It really does take something special to like really take a concept and commit to it like this and just really see what you can get out of it. It's spectacular. Even to the fact that like, we always see Luffy stretch and we've seen him inflate like the different parts of his body with like gear 2nd and gear 3rd. It's the logical extension of that. But now he's compressing instead of stretching. It's not just the extension, it's the evolution of it, which I think I'm glad Oda took his time with Gear 4th. There's a chance that he could have had this, like, he could have had the concept, like, before he even showed us any gears, for all we know. But, like, you can tell, like, this is someone who, like, he thought this out. He really took his time planning it. And I think that, yeah, it's just so impressive. It's so impressive. It's such a great power-up.
Yeah. I agree with everything you guys are saying.
God, I thought I hated it.
No, I love Gear 4. I think this is like such a cool design, and it's like I wouldn't be able to come up with this. Like you guys are talking about like the creativity. It's like I wouldn't have even thought like what does Gear 4 look like? Because like where does he go from there, right? So the fact that we come up with this design and like he applied the things that already developed in the series to the point where it's like when you see it's like, oh, that makes sense. Like why did I think of that? Because like it all like clicks together really well. So Luffy has now started to infuse his hockey to come up with this form, and I like how there's something that he's had in his back pocket. So he hasn't brought it up until now because he hasn't really had to. But this is the form he had used and developed during the 2 years with Rayleigh because he needed to like, be able to take on the monsters on the island. So yeah, this was like a way that he was able to level himself up. And I actually can now show you guys the bookmark I've been using the entire time for the series.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's go. That's sick.
Nice.
Yeah,
That is sweet.
It's like a holographic like metal Gear 4 bookmark for the listeners. But yeah,
Amazing.
I've been like making sure not to show it to you beforehand, but now you can see it in all its glory.
Incredible.
Yeah, very cool. Another thing I love about this power up is it feels like it feels so Luffy, right? Like I
Mhm.
feel like it fits his character. It's like serious, but he's not taking himself too serious. Like it's kind of goofy in a way, but I feel like that's also perfectly Luffy. Like I feel like he's kind of bouncing off the walls and has kind of got this silly way of doing things. But again, I think the theme being like creativity as a strength, I think is a really cool theme to see in action here. And we're
Yeah.
seeing it with Dofi. We're also seeing it with Dofi, but it's cool seeing it with Luffy here as well.
Yeah. And it's like even kind of got almost like a Nightmare Luffy kind of vibe to it from like Throw Bark.
Oh yeah,
It's a little
I can see
similar,
that.
like with like the I think the eyes.
Yep.
Um, but other than that, like it feels completely different from anything we've seen from Luffy so far. And then like Doflamingo even's like, come on, like get serious, like this is a joke, right? But like this always happens where Luffy is serious about these fights, but like the way he approaches it, it comes off as people think he's not being serious about the fight, but Luffy's just looking at different ways to approach the fight. He thinks outside the box. And
Hmm.
this is like something that I think again, like Doflamingo also wouldn't be able to comprehend or come up with. This is something that Luffy comes up with. Like this is like what Luffy comes up with is like fighting style and how to use his fruit. And it comes from the experience of having this fruit and trying to think outside the box and be creative. And that's how you end up with something like this.
Yep.
And then just seeing like the way that he actually is able to fight with this is really cool. And we start to see like the arm like fold in, and then like he's just like unleashing all that pressure that he just built up, and that's how we get these like crazy blasts of power. So Doflamingo was saying before how Luffy didn't have any weight behind his attacks, but now he's got the speed and the weight. So careful what you wish for, Dofi.
Yep. Spoke too soon.
Speaking of speed, I love the fact that we're just getting like the slow-mo, like instant by instant, phase by phase, like Oda
Yeah.
laying out how the Kong gun works. It's so exciting.
Yeah.
So sick.
Yeah, like there's like the Gurk and then the Shump where like it's almost like a cannon, like just like how it's like launching out like that. So I just think it's like really cool.
Yeah.
Arms a literal cannon.
Yeah.
It's a culverin.
Very cool.
Which I had to look up tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Old timey cannon. That's pretty sick.
And then like the reaction of the people when they see Doflamingo is what came flying out of the sky. Like, Doflamingo, what are you doing here? He's like, that's what I want to know. Like, what happened?
Great fucking
Yeah.
question. Oh, and Luffy can fly now.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Still there.
It is kind of like he's using like Moonwalk from CP9,
A little bit.
just like horizontally.
Kind of like Virgo.
Kinda
Oh
makes
yeah,
sense. I
Virgo
mean,
did. That was him.
yeah.
Although I think it's just really cool to see, like, again, he's got like the little like jet bursts like coming from his legs. He's like, pff, 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 pff.
Yep. Creative.
And then he uses his momentum from the fly to like unleash a kick on Doflamingo. So he comes flying in and then lands a kick, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. This is awesome. And it seems like the tide of the fight has changed. Or Dofi's on the defensive now for the first time.
Yep, he didn't see this one coming. And like I love like this little panel where Doflamingo kicks Luffy, and then he thinks to himself, even with the arm of hockey, he's still rubber. And then Luffy just like pushes him away and says, "No good."
That just feels like so like early One Piece.
Yeah.
Like Alvida, Buggy,
Or
like the
Morgan.
bullets like when he saves Zoro. Yeah,
Yep.
Morgan. Yeah, perfect.
Yep, that's not gonna work
It
on
is
me.
still such a Luffy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like the zigzags of the fist changing the trajectory in the air, so it's like hard to
So
predict like
cool.
where it's gonna be coming from.
Yeah. It's so cool.
Okay, so that's our first look at Gear 4.
Amazing.
Sick.
Oda, you've done it again.
All right, we're good to move on to the last chapter for the volume.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we do that, we are actually wrapping up the cover story with the solitary journey of Jinbei, First of the Sea, final volume, starting off with a new kimono and some gifts. Jinbei bids farewell to his new friends as he and Watsume head out.
Looks like he's got a big old cube-shaped gift on Watatsumi there.
Do you remember what that was?
Sure do. It's a gift for Robin, I think.
Hopefully. Yeah. So we get that poneglyph over to her.
Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
good catch though. Yeah, I actually
Jinbei's
didn't
got a
notice that.
poneglyph. He said, I'll take that with me, thanks.
Yeah, so a cute little ending there.
Cute.
All right, and let's wrap up with chapter 785 on Broken Legs. The townspeople look on in awe as they wonder who this guy is who's able to take on Doflamingo. Burgess looks on as well as he plots what to do next, though Koala is observing him to see what his next move will be. The Tontados evacuate the final factory building, which is able to withstand the birdcage strings due to it being made out of sea prism. So the strings begin to drag the building along. Zoro passes by and informs Frankie that he plans to stop the birdcage himself. Luffy is starting to run out of time as he is only able to maintain Gear 4 for a short period. Doflamingo recognizes this shortcoming as well, as he reveals to Luffy that some devil fruits can advance to the next level and be awakened, affecting objects surrounding them as he turns the ground and nearby buildings into strings. Things begin to look dire for the citizens in the streets, who are starting to lose hope. King Riku gets on the transponder snail and speaks to the people. He explains to the people what has been going on and how they have been manipulated and ruled on Doflamingo's tyranny for the past 10 years. He reassures the people that there is hope, and a group of warriors have managed to defeat Doflamingo's army. Now, Strat Luffy is fighting to defeat Doflamingo, and he urges them to survive for just a few more minutes. This message inspires the people, giving them a newfound hope. Luffy charges in, smashing Doflamingo, and sends him flying through a series of buildings until he crashes into a wall. All right.
Interesting tidbit about the factory here being, since we know it's made of sea prism, is unaffected. Is it unaffected by the strings, or is it simply just so strong that it's withstanding the strings? Like, is it negating the ability, or is it just, we know sea prism is like an incredibly rare, incredibly powerful material.
I think it's just like how durable sea prism stone is.
Right.
Yeah.
Not the
Like,
fact
just
that
like-
it's like nulling the cutting power of the string or something. That's
I'm
what
not sure-
my read as well. Is it's just like it's just such a resistant material,
that's where I was going with it too. Yeah.
because it could be the move to hide in the factory if push comes to shove.
Yeah.
Could be a strategic thing.
I do think the Sea Prism Stone is probably resistant to Devil Fruit powers in general,
Because
but I could be wrong.
we know it weakens devil fruit users, but not necessarily that it cancels out like an effect caused by a devil fruit user. Like, I don't know.
I'm not
I
sure.
guess I'm a little curious.
It's also so rare that like I feel like we don't. There are some, but there aren't like a ton that like create something rather than turning into or modifying something. I think that's why it's also like
Mm.
we don't have like as many examples to go off of with like something like this in particular.
Right.
Well, I'm thinking about like Smoker's Jute, where like if he stabbed a Logia user, like he would still be able to stab them, right? Because it would negate the power if he tried to hit him with it. Because like
Right. But I guess for me that's the thing is like that's like a person turning themselves into a thing and not something like a person like made. Because for me, I think of like the season like turning them back in their original form. But it's like was the form of the I mean, if you say like the form of the bird cage was nothing for this, then I guess, yeah, I guess that's where I'm like different phenomenon, different rule, different
I don't know.
happenings. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
But good question. Maybe I'll come up with the SPS at some point. Maybe not.
Yeah.
If not, we'll write it in.
But speaking of devil fruit abilities, a devil fruit becoming awakened is some lore that is introduced, which is bananas. We were just saying, like, how could Dofi get any more powerful? He's too strong. He's unkillable, and now he's turning buildings into string.
So this is the first time that we've seen a devil fruit awakened in this way, but we've actually encountered awakened devil fruits before.
Really?
So I don't think you remember this, but Cody might remember this. Back in
Mm.
Impel Down,
Yeah. Yep.
Crocodile had mentioned that the jailer beasts were awakened Zoan types, and we didn't know what that meant.
Oh, the jailer beasts were awakened zone types. Right. Yeah, I guess I was thinking of awakened in like a different context as this.
Like a Paramythia type.
Because were the jailer beasts animals that ate a devil fruit?
No, they were humans.
Humans?
Who basically got overtaken by their fruit.
Right, right. Humans ate a Zoan type devil fruit, but then became permanent Zoan. That's right.
So that seems to be the implication for
Interesting.
those. But we haven't seen
So
a
that's
case like this.
overtook them. Interesting. Like that affected them permanently, and now this is the reverse where Dofi is able to permanently affect objects, or in this
Right.
case, turning his surroundings into a string.
But yeah, this is kind of like our further explanation as to what awakening a devil fruit means. It gives us like a little bit more context to like what that implies. Not saying this explains everything, but it does give us a better look at the concept of awakening devil fruits because he's able to affect other things beyond like himself and turn like the other like their surroundings into strings because he's able to like turn the buildings into strings and he uses the ground to come up and like grab Luffy. So Doflamingo has mastered his devil fruit to the point he's been able to awaken it and he can use it in this way.
Phew. This whole time, he could just turn any inanimate object into a string. But yeah, that's wild. And some very interesting lore about devil fruits. Like
Yeah.
that kind of changes things potentially.
And Cody, do you have any thoughts on the awakened devil fruits?
Nothing really new. I feel like we covered most of it.
Okay.
I guess it's just cool that it's people affecting their surroundings in a series where so much of it is like the impact you have on the world. I guess. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to I'm trying to figure out like why Oda wanted to do it that way and like how it ties into like the story thematically because I'm sure there is a reason. I just don't have anything to really go off of it yet.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Yeah, I just felt like when like this chapter came out, like this is something that people like were like latching onto. It's like, oh, like awakened devil fruits, like this is like crazy, and there's like people start like theorizing off of that. So I just think as a concept, like being shown in this way, I think it's an interesting new layer to add to these devil fruits because like Doflamingo says it's another stage entirely to awaken devil fruit.
Yeah.
So it's not something that's like super common, and it's like another thing to add to One Piece to start to differentiate people who are in this world. And it's like, what can they do to show more power than what we've seen before? It's like, where is the ceiling? And as we keep going, we see that the ceiling's higher than we thought.
Right. Power scaling.
I mean, Luffy will awaken his fruit. Will he be able to turn places into rubber? Is that what's going to happen?
I mean,
What's
that's
it
a
look like for a
possibility.
Logia fruit? Because we've talked about Paramithias and Zoans, but like, could
Right.
that be different?
Yeah, is that like, oh, I'm
Pretty
going to
cool.
change the stuff around me into like the element? Or like, is it something different?
Is
Pretty
that why they
sick.
didn't actually show us the fight between Sakazuki and Kuzan? Because they're pretty powerful Logia users.
Hmm,
So who knows?
could be.
Do we think
you think?
Fujitora is an awakened devil fruit?
Huh.
I don't know.
How else would you pull meteors? Or do we figure out his gravity thing?
I
I guess
think
it's controlling gravity, not creating things, but
yeah. So I think I think it's been established that what he was doing was using his observation hockey and locating meteors from space or space debris and pulling it from space. So yeah, he's manipulating physical objects that exist. So he's not creating it. He's just
right, that's right.
moving stuff. So yeah, pretty crazy.
But that does like raise a question of like, what would like a fruit like Boa Hancock's fruit look like when it's awakened, or Fujitora's if like that is like if this is an unawakened version of it, like how do you apply that?
Right.
Who knows?
So Doflamingo also says it's very rare, but some powers can awaken and affect objects aside from their wielder. So I'm wondering if not every devil fruit has the capability of being
Mhm.
awakened, but it might be limited to specific ones.
Yeah, that could be it.
But it could also, like, you don't know which ones are gonna be able to be awakened, but you could also kind of think about, like, oh, what would that look like?
I want to be like, well, Doflamingo doesn't know everything about devil fruits. There's still so much being discovered about them right now. Fucking Vegapunk figured out how to like put animals into objects 2 years ago. You don't know shit. But like, this is Dofi kind of being a mouthpiece for Oda as a world builder right now, so we can't,
Well, I would
Yeah.
also argue that Doflamingo is probably more aware of a lot of this stuff
More
than most
informed than
people.
most.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
he's got the
for sure.
information from the black market, so
Yeah,
he's got his ear to the ground.
most likely.
Yeah, so then as we go along here, you start to see things looking dire for the citizens of Dressrosa, who are still running for their lives, and they're starting to give up hope. And then we have this inspiring moment where King Riku makes an announcement to the public, and like he's real with them. He's like, "This is what's been going on. We were overthrown by Doflamingo, and this is like a cruel game that he's putting into play. And right now, our only hope is these ragtag group of pirates that we're relying on. But we have confidence in him. So if you people can just hold out for a little bit longer, this fight's gonna be over soon. It's just gonna be a matter of time for Luffy to win this fight. So he's like, stay strong. And this is enough to kind of get the people to like kind of, I think, go on adrenaline and be like, you know what? I think I can go another few minutes. Let's stay in this fight. Let's not give up. So he goes on here and says some inspiring words, and he's showing that he's like a true leader as well.
Hmm. Yeah, it's cool comparing like King Riku and Dofi and Luffy and like their leadership roles, and like another thing that's an underlying theme in this arc as well is just like different forms of leadership and what does it mean to be a leader, and like relying on support, like relying on people to do their job and fill their role. And but it's interesting because like that's also what Dofi's doing, but like I feel like his support feels at his expense, where with like King Riku, or sorry, at their expense, and then King Riku is like at his own expense. I feel like,
Okay.
I don't know. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I feel like Dofi uses his support system to bolster himself, but at the end of the day, I feel like they're pretty disposable as long as he gets what he wants.
Okay. So yeah, so it's more like it's all about what Doflamingo wants, and again, like raising him up.
Right. Where I feel like Luffy and like Riku truly want what's best for everyone else
Right.
and are willing to allow people to step up into the leading role or into the spotlight to do what's best, or like do what's in the best interest of the greater good.
Yeah, because like Riku's moment here is showing concern for his people and what they're going through, and he still sees them as his people, even though he's not, the actual king right now because he was overthrown. But he still sees himself as like the leader of these people, and sees an opportunity to put their mind at ease in a way to as much as he can, because he knows these people are panicking. And he's like, well, I'm not able to win this fight physically against Doflamingo, but what I can do is speak to my people, let them know what's going on, and let them know that there is a reason to keep fighting. So the reason why he's doing this is for the benefit of the people, so they realize that what's going on, like there is a path forward. They just need to hold on.
Yeah. And raising the numbers, it's like Luffy's only built alliances and grown in numbers, while Dofi's the exact opposite. He's only lost people, and
Yeah,
his numbers have dwindled down, and now it's only him standing. He's like the last man standing, and now he doesn't have those people, those alliances, and that support to get him through this last step. But Luffy does. Luffy has support. Luffy has hope. Luffy has people who are willing to step up and assist or take his place or whatever to get the like overall objective to completed.
yeah, yeah. And Doflamingo's not willing to let that control go. So he's fighting, to the end. hold on to his power here. He's not willing to like admit like, oh, okay, things are going well for me. He's like, no, I still got this. I'm still in control.
Right.
And then as a result, he gets blasted again by Luffy.
Oh,
It's very, very satisfying to see.
yeah, another incredible illustration. Yep. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to keep reading.
Yeah, and that's where we
We're hitting the
end for now.
climax for sure.
Yeah, so we are getting close to the end. I will say that.
One thing
It
I
feels
just
that way.
noticed, with the Leo bazooka, the hand position does remind me of the Kamehameha.
Yeah, true.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Whereas normally he's like this time. It's
Yeah.
Now all he has to do is say when he defeats Dofi, he's like, but we can remain sparring partners. I'll come visit you in prison.
That was a good fight, Doflamingo. All right. Do you guys have any final thoughts of the chapter or the volume as a whole?
I love Gear Fourth.
Yeah.
Also, there's like some little. I noticed like 2 panels where there's like little messages on people's shirts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one is Iki Nobi Huru. Like on like I think like the second to last, or technically third to last page of the chapter when like, all the people are running back into town. No idea what that means. But at the start of Riku's message, one guy, the back of his hoodie says Riku o Samada. And Riku o literally means King Riku. So I'm guessing it's like Riku's speaking, or it could be like literally what he says. That's King Riku. But that's pretty fun. So it's just neat that we still like these little Easter eggs in such a heavy / exciting / cathartic chapter. It's nice.
Yeah, I never think to look at that, but then you always see like these SPS questions about like people noticing like these random shirts that people had, and I was like, oh yeah, it says this. But yeah, I never happened to notice those.
It's the first time I've seen that, so I was like, oh, that's cool. Usually the SBS tells me later.
Yeah. Any other final thoughts?
I'm hyped. It's like it feels like some of the final blows of the final battle. You know, I'm like really excited to see how this wraps up. And yeah, Gear Fourth is a blast. I love it. It's living up to the hype. Like that was such a great reveal. Yeah, I remember breezing through those pages, just like eating it up.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very helpful moment, and one I was definitely looking forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of great stuff in this section of the volume as well. Again, like the moment with Luffy stopping Doflamingo's foot. Love that moment. One of my favorite moments. And like Luffy really showing Doflamingo like what he was made of. Yeah, the Gear 4 reveal, incredible. Love the design. And like the way that Luffy fights using Gear 4. And then Law had some great moments too, like using his powers in fun, creative ways, and like the fake out with the death, and like the way that they implement the gamma knife. So lots of cool stuff, and the arm floating with the sword and slicing treble. Yeah, so some really cool stuff. And yeah, we're leaving Dressrosa in a very exciting spot. And like Evan's been saying, like I think we're getting close to like the climax of the arc, and I'm very curious to see how this arc lands for you guys.
Me too.
Same.
I can't wait.
Well, you're gonna have to, because that will conclude this week's episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. You can find this episode wherever podcasts are found at We're Reading One Piece podcast.buzzsprout.com or on our YouTube channel at We're Reading One Piece. This is a spoiler-free channel up to where we record the podcast. If you're new to the series, you can visit the channel there. You can also find me and this podcast on my YouTube channel at Pirate King Codex for more One Piece content. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, you can reach us at werereadingonepiece@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from listeners, so if you're enjoying the show, or if you have any suggestions on how we can make it better, let us know. Next episode, we'll be starting volume 79, Lucy. I've been Joel, and I've been joined by Evan.
Thanks for listening.
And Cody.
No thoughts, only bounce, man.
Law's back, baby.
He's back.
All right. Well, be sure to bring on all your hopes and dreams, and we'll see you on the next episode.